Hello, everyone. I am here getting live, and I'm still trying to check on one of the technical problem here. My apology for the delay, but give me 30 seconds. It seems like the live stream on Facebook has a problem. But for those of you who are watching live and cannot go to Facebook, please jump on my YouTube channel. It seems like we have a technical problem with the Facebook live stream. I'm not sure what's going on here, but let's see. Let me change one thing to see if it helps or not. Okay, well, I cannot. Okay, so I have to remove the live stream on Facebook, but we still have live stream here. But anyway, welcome everyone to my welcome to the webinar. Thank you. And sorry about that. Sorry about the technical problem at the beginning, but here we are with the buyer webinar. And now this one, we are going to specifically talk about how to save up for the down payment and how to choose the perfect home step by step. I'm gonna go over everything that you need to know, actually, how to buy a house from A to Z as well. But today, the two more important is talk about the down payment and the home that you like. Okay, I would like to share with you this because the first-time home buyers, especially if you're immigrant, come to the U.S. as a immigrant from a different country. I've been there, do that as well. And this is exactly the strategy after I bought my first house, become an agent, creating this framework, and share that with hundreds of immigrant buyers for the last couple of years. And they successfully get into their first house. Very easy, understandable. So I would like to share with you as well. But before we get started, I just want to say this, okay? You are not alone, okay? You are not alone. I've been there as well. And in fact, your journey matters a lot. Like you, when I came to the US after 6 years of waiting for the documentation process to be completed, I just want to ask, how many of you come to the US and wait more than 6 years? If you can just put in a comment, then that would be great. More than 6 years. Right? How about more than 5 years? How about 4? Great. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we have to wait as an immigrant come to the US, right? We need to wait for such a long time for the paperwork to be completed. And I'm sure, just like me, when you come to the US, because of such a long awaiting period, right? You want to prove yourself. You work really hard to build a better life from another country, right? For your loved ones, for yourself. And buying your first house is actually always on the back of the mind. 100%. Even if you're renting right now, even if you are just come to the US, even if you are living in the US for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, buying a house, I'm sure that thought already a goal in your mind. Comment below to tell me whether it's true or not, right? But sometimes it can feel very overwhelming, especially when you are new to the process, and especially when you are come to from a different country. Right? I want to let you know that I truly understand that. I truly understand your point of view. And there's many things new to the US when I come to the US, right? For example, I didn't know that we have to wear seatbelt when when I was in Vietnam. So that is new to me. And when I first came to the US, it was I was taken to Las Vegas by my cousin. However, I don't know that I can actually not doing anything. I thought that I can do some crazy stuff, right? But I cannot, because the thing is, I am not 21 years old yet. I was only 20 years old and 6 months. So therefore, I cannot do anything. But but anyway, I have fun. I have something good, right? But that's my point. Okay. So the reason is I come here with a lot of challenge. The reason why I'm telling you this is that even right now, I already have my house. I already have a couple of investment properties. But when I look at like me 15 years ago, 16 years ago, right? I have challenge as well. I have challenge. I have so many obstacles. And when it comes to buy a house, it's a completely new process to me because because I thought that I have to buy the house with cash, 100% by cash. So that's a completely wrong assumption on my end, right? So in fact, the real barrier when you think about buying a house is the analysis paralysis, right? You have so much information. You have so much fear. I do the same thing when I think about purchasing a home, right? There's so many information. There's so much of fear of making the wrong mistake, right? So that's the reason why I feel overwhelmed because of the situation, because of the analysis paralysis, because I analyze too many information at the same time. So the key is the cause of everything is actually the misprioritization. I actually don't, not that I don't have the information, not that I don't have an encouragement, but it's more like I don't know where to start. I don't know, right? Because I have so many information, but I don't actually know where I can get started. Or maybe do I start this first, or maybe do I start, do I find a loan officer first, or do I find a down payment first, or do I find, uh, many a house first, right? So many things for me to make the decision, and therefore that is a cause, that is the reason why it stopped me from making the decision. But now here's the reality. When you look at the reality now, and then this is one of the survey from the National Association of Realtor. This is the comparison between the net worth, how much money you actually have when you compare between the average of the number of homeowners versus the renters. Okay, the renters only have about 10,000 net worth versus the homeowners has an average of 430,000. Well, if you do a quick math, that is actually 40 times greater than the renter, the average net worth of the renter, right? And this is a huge gap. This is a huge difference between the homeowners and the renter, right? Now, if you look at the other situation, the other years, this is 2025, okay? If you look at other years, you see that this gap is actually getting bigger and bigger. So even more and more and more. If you, the more renting, the longer you rent, is that you actually losing more money, and you actually not just money, but also your pride, also your freedom. That's a lot of loss for you to continue to rent. But anyway, I'm not here to tell you the difference, the benefit between home ownership and uh, renting, because obviously when you come here, you already want to purchase your first home. You already make the decision to purchase your first home. So all you need to do is to execute your plan one step at a time. Execute your plan one step at a time. That is the key action that you have to do, right? But some of you might ask, Long, that's great in the high level, but what plan do I execute? That's a great question. That's a great question because you have to have the plan. And if you come back to like Google or ChatGPT or Gemini, right? Then it's come back to the analysis paralysis. You're gonna have plenty of information. You're not gonna have like the proven method, the proven process, the one that has been implemented by so many other immigrant first-time homebuyer. So today, I can share with you the exact same plan that I did, that I teach the first-time immigrant homebuyers to follow and to get the first house. So here it is, okay? I call it the 7 steps to your success, the magical home buying method. Okay, so at the high level, we're gonna have the first step to engage your team, to gather the key members of your team. And I'm talking about the real estate agent and the loan officer. And talking to here, a lot of people are gonna say, Long, then you are advertised for your own service. But you don't have to use me. To be honest with you, before we work together, I actually have an interview with everyone calling me to make sure that I'm the right fit. Because here's the thing, that different people has different way to work. And if you are not feeling comfortable working with me, we shouldn't work together because you have to be, this is one of the biggest decisions of your life. So if you're not feeling comfortable, then just choose a different agent. That's why in all of my contract, I do have a cancellation guarantee so that you don't have to be obligated to work with me all the time if you're not feeling comfortable. But seriously though, this is a very important step because as you do anything in the first time, there's going to be a lot of error. There's a lot of mistake that you can make. Having the right agent and having the right loan officer could be a huge lift for your process. So I do have a list of questions that you can ask the agent and loan officer, whoever you want to work with, to confirm, to check whether it is the right person or not. Okay, I'll show you how to get the document in a minute soon. Okay, the next step in the home buying process is expand your savings. Okay, this is a very important lesson step that I'm going to talk about today, is to save, use your money, use your income to save up for the down payment. The main reason is this: owning a house has a lot of responsibility, and control your money is one of the key, one of the foundation to make sure your dream home is a dream home and not a nightmare home, right? If the house has a foundation, saving for your money, saving money, I would say it is a foundation of your home. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about mortgage options. Well, some of you might ask, what if I have all the money is in the world and I don't have to have mortgage? Good for you. Let's keep step number 3. Right now, but seriously though, but if you just like 95% of the home buyer on the market nowadays, you will have to have mortgage, right? And choosing the right mortgage, choosing the right interest rate could be a matter between whether you're getting into financial problem versus you can continue living in the house forever, right? So this is very important for you to understand how to select the right program just for you, okay, and your family, of course. Next, we are going to go through the process of how to actually choosing the right home, the perfect home for your family. Some of you just go out and say, hey, I'm gonna go see this, that, whoop, whoop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 houses all in one day. And you never be able to find anything that you like, right? What's wrong? Okay. Now, some of you may say, I only see one house a week and I don't see anything. Okay, what's wrong? This is a process. This is a prioritized. This is our own developed process. No other agent has that on the market, in the market, and I will share with you in today's webinar as well. Okay, so that you know exactly whether you get the right house, the perfect house or not. Next is understand the market value and the offers. This is the very important, because after all the previous 4 steps, if you don't make the right offer, a fair offer, if you don't know how to determine the market value of the offer, of course, as an agent, they can help you. I can help you getting the market value as well. But I want to empower you to understand how that process works, and you are the key decision maker in the process, and you can confirm whether that is a good recommendation or not when you make an offer. Because at the end of the day, that's your house, right? You should have the control of everything. Next is the closing process. This is if the first 5 steps feel overwhelmed, I would say the 6th step is the most complicated step, because within it includes so many small details connecting to each other. We're talking about deposit, we're talking about inspection, we're talking about loan approval process, we're talking about how to get the loan employment verification, income verification, debt clearance, right? Credit, appraisal, negotiate with the seller for the repairs item. There's so many things within that step, and if you do it wrong, you could potentially lose thousands of dollars of your deposit just because you didn't follow the procedure, the transaction correctly, right? So this is a very important step, and this could take me another 3 hours just to talk about this. Okay. Last but not least, after all, if the 6th step is for you to get into the house, the 7th step is actually the key, because you can actually use your house to build generational wealth, to build family wealth, so that you can continue growing in the future. Okay, so these are the 7 steps to your success, and it's a very important. It break it down so that you can make the key decision in each individual step. Because of the time limit in today, we're only going to talk about the expense saving and choose the perfect home. Obviously, the reason why I choose this, I think I want to give you something in return. Because you spend the time with me today, right? This is, I think, would be the most 2 important fundamentals of the home buying process. We're talking about the saving for the down payment, why, how much, okay, and also choosing the perfect home. But I don't want to leave you for nothing, okay? So if you already have the down payment, if you already have the house that you want to make an offer in, I don't want you leave you nothing for after this webinar. If you get your phone, scan the QR code here, you will receive a guide to buying your first home. This will include talking about the market, talking about the 7 steps that I was mentioning in the last section, and then it also have some template, some worksheet for you to use to implement the method as well. All right, so if just scan this, completely free, 100% free. I want to empower you as much as possible. Okay, for example, in this QR code, you will also receive a budget worksheet, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then you're also going to have the criteria worksheet as well, so that you separate between the must-have and the nice-to-have criteria of the home. Okay, so you will have everything that you need for this. Okay, with that, I would like to go right into pillar number 1. Okay, this is expanding your saving. And I want to emphasize, I want to stress the importance of saving again. The reason why I want to talk about saving is because I want to let you know that saving is the most, in my opinion, is the most important skill for you to have when you own a house. Some of you might ask, why does that matter? Owning a house and saving money is two different things. But if you're renting right now, I think most of you are, right? If you're renting right now, you normally don't have to worry about the sewer blockage. You normally don't have to worry about the AC problem. You normally don't have to worry about replacing the dishwasher. You normally don't have to worry about the leak in the roof. You don't even have to worry about the leak in the bathroom. It's small, big, right? Important, non-important, safety problem, non-safety problem. You don't even have to worry about that because you do have the landlord to take care of that for you, right? But when you own the house, you become the landlord of yourself. And who's going to take care of those problems? Guess what? It's you. And if you don't have a good saving habit during this time, okay, then you don't have any emergency fund to cover for those expenses. We're not talking about just the house, right? I want to empower you to become a true home ownership, two homeowners, okay? So that you don't feel frustrated when you own a house. Okay, I want to share with you one story, the story about myself. Didn't know how to actually save up for money and how to control money. So back in the day in 2015, well, actually a little bit backward, when I came to the US in 2009, right? My mom gave me 2000 to purchase a car that of my choice. And at that time, I bought a Toyota Camry 1995. I believe that it's about 170, 180,000 miles already, but it's still running fine, right? And I used that Toyota for the next 6 years when I was in college, right? In 2016, when I graduated from college, I got a job at Gore at the medical device company that I really like. Okay, really like. I followed the company long time, and I submit so many applications, and I finally got it. I got into it. I got a job offer at $66,000 a year. Okay, $66,000 a year. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute, why do I make $66,000 a year and I still drive a Toyota Camry 1995? It doesn't make sense. So after graduation, I decided to talk to my mechanic friend. His name is Guy. He's a good friend. He's a very good mechanic too. I asked him, hey, you want to go to dealership, a dealership and buy another car with me? So in my mind, it's like, okay, it's just another Toyota. I don't even know anything about cars. And he suggested me, hey, why don't we take a look at Lexus? Okay, that's fine. So we drove to the Lexus in Bell Avenue in Peoria. And when I drive through the street, I go, oh my goodness, this is a fancy building. I shouldn't park in front of the door, right? So I told my friend that, hey, why don't we park on the side of this street right here and we walk into the dealership? And he was laughing, but he's finally agreed. At first, we were like, okay, let's just look around and looking for something, cheap and affordable is not in my mind. I just like, okay, let's look for a car. Okay, and then a salesman came. She was very nice. She talked to me, and you know what? End up, I bought a $65,000 brand new Lexus IS 250. As a reminder, I only got the job offer for $66,000 a year, and I bought a 65,000 brand new Lexus. By the way, did I tell you that after 6 years of college, my wife and I also have a $200,000 student loan, and we just bought a house last month, so we have plenty of debt, and I take more debt, even though right now that I know that I cannot afford it. Because here's the thing, the 66,000 income, I didn't receive the full 66,000 income. All right. I probably only received like $50,000 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. And by the way, the 65,000, because I don't have all the money to purchase, right? I put a small money down. I forget how much I did put in. But then every month it has to be, interest. So 65 brand new Lexus may become 90 or 100 by the time that we pay off the loan. So that's crazy, right? And I never think of that until 2 months later, I decided to sell the car. But anyway, that's the different story, and I'll tell you in another time, right? But my story is this. Saving, my point is this, okay? Your saving is the root that nourish your home ownership tree. Let me say it again. Your savings are the root that nourish your home ownership tree. So saving is not just about having the right down payment or maybe a little, fund for a vacation. But that habit, the habit of saving, is actually helping growing your home ownership tree. Right? That's the reason why I'm telling you saving habit, saving behavior is actually one of the most important skill to have if you choose to purchase a home. Easier talk than done, right? Some of you might ask me, Long, so how do I start saving if I never do that before? My life never have any extra money. I earn all the money that I have during the week, during the months, and then at the end of the month, all the money goes out. So how do I even get started? That I'm glad that you ask, because I do have exactly the framework to help you to save money, specifically save for your down payment. And now I use the word down payment, but it could be anything. Saving for emergency fund, saving for down payment, saving for your family trip, saving when you have enough funds, right? Saving for a big TV. Okay, my this is actually a copy from Dave Ramsey. He's a great financial coach. He taught a lot of people how to become debt free. If you're interested in learning about his strategy, definitely take a look at his channel as well. But I modify his version a little bit into this to help you getting the down payment for the first house. Okay, so here it is. Number one, the income insight. This is critical step because, like I said, right? A lot of people work really hard, but then at the end of the month, all the money gone. They don't even know where the money is, right? They don't even that's exactly the reason why, as you know, there's only the net worth of the renter is only 10,000, because they don't have a goal. They don't have a way to keep the money in the family. They cannot do that because they already used to spend without even know how much they make. If you don't know how much you make, how do you know how much you can spend? Right? If you make 5,000 and you spend 6,000 on a credit card, that is crazy because you negative 1,000. Who is going to pay for that 1,000? Are you expecting the next month you use the 5,000 to cover that 1,000 and use only 4,000 for the second month's expense? That's never happened, because any month that you spend 6,000, the next month is expected to be 6,000 or even more, right? So first, you have to know your income. This is the remember, this is be careful too, okay? Just like me, when I think, okay, I make $66,000, that is not all the money I get home. That is the gross amount. Do look at the net income, the income that you receive to the bank, to your bank account, okay? Now, if you do have your spouse with you and you do combine the income together, which my recommendation, okay, then you can combine the both incomes together to find out exactly how much you make in a monthly basis. Okay, and next is you understand the expense. Understand the expense, the total amount that you spend in every single thing. At this step, don't worry about if it is a right or wrong. I just want you to specify, to list out every single thing that you spend in the last 12 months. In the last 12 months. You know why? The reason is that some months you're going to spend very little. That's good. But some months you're going to spend like crazy. That's not good, right? But if you do average the 2 months, the 12 months together, then it will give you a better understanding of how much you spend on the monthly basis. And by the way, if it is also if you are self-employed, okay, and I know a lot of you immigrants, you want to become a business owner and things like that as well. The income is also the average of the last 12 months. Don't get the highest income of the months with the highest income, or don't get the lowest month income of the month as well. Get the average of the last 12 months to get you a number. And after you have one number here, the income inside and the expense detail, right? Then you can, the next step is to create a budget, okay? This is the most challenging steps in the 5 steps. You know why? Because again, analysis paralysis. Then at this step, you was like, oh, should I do this? Should I do on Excel? Should I do it on paper? Should I do it on a file? How do I keep track? Should I do it in an app? My advice is that just do it. And I will provide you a template as well for you to use. And here's a quick look of that, right? In this template, I do have already some example item that you can consider putting it in, and maybe some empty place for you to put in as well. And then monthly expense, and then you have some target self-debt payment here. I'm gonna share with you how you can download this file in a minute. But for now, let's go to the next step. And I think the next step is fairly important, because if you have the budget, but you don't have the goal, you're still going nowhere. So the first step, the first goal in building your saving habit is actually saving for $1,000 emergency fund. Okay. Now, why $1,000? Why is that magic number? The reason why is that it's not too big to discourage your saving. If I tell you, hey, you have to save $100,000, some of you are like, long, it's gonna take me like 10 years to do that, or 20 years to do that, right? I'm not gonna follow your method. But if it is not too small neither, for those of you who start with saving, because I know, like I said, the average net worth of the renter is only $10,000. So some of you may not even have 1,000 in the bank. You don't even know how to get 1,000, right? So it's not that small for you to get it quickly, but it's a boost. Okay, it's create a boost. It's create a starting. An analogy is that, remember, when when you start the car, it's the initial starting is the challenge. So I don't want this to be too much of the challenge and then you give up, right? And I don't want it to be too big to a point that it become unrealistic, right? So that 1,000 is there for a reason. Now, after you get done with 1,000, this is the time that you start having the goal of save up for the down payment. So see, I'm not going to tell you to go save down payment right away, but you have to have some kind of framework. You have to have some kind of guidance to be able to, follow the exact step. Remember, execute one step at a time. Execute your plan one step at a time. Okay? Some of you may ask me here, what is the 5%? How much is the 5%? That's a great question. And that is the reason why this step is coming after the first step, right? Engage your team, get together with the team and discuss about the options, right? Talk to your real estate agent, whoever you feel comfortable with, to identify a area that you want to purchase in, for example, and then identify a comfortable purchase price. For example, if you say, hey, Chandler, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 1990s, great. Your budget should be around $450. So 5% of 450 is about 12,000, 14,000, right? So you have something, 20,000, 450, 22,000, or around 22,000, 25,000. Right? So that is your 5%. Okay. And then maybe a Glendale, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, maybe only about 20,000, for example, for 5% down. Right? So discuss with them, make sure that it is a comfortable number as well. Some of you might ask, why the 5% now? And don't focus too much on the down payment. This is, I think, a recommendable for first-time home buyer amount for the down payment, because if you have too little, then you're going to pay the high crazily amount of monthly payment. But if you too much, like 10%, 20%, then it's going to take forever for you to do that. Okay. Some of you may also ask me, what if I already have the down payment? My parents going to give me the down payment, so I already done with that step. It was to step number 5. So should I skip to the next step in your framework, in the 7th step? My answer is, if you already believe that you have a good saving habit, then sure, go ahead to the next step. But if you don't, you don't think that if the down, especially when the down payment is not coming from you directly, okay, then you don't normally have a good saving habit. Okay, then still doing step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and even do the number 5, and use that as an additional down payment on top of whatever you receive from your parents, from your inheritance, and things like that. Okay, still follow the work. Okay. To get started today, I would say maybe start with tracking every dollar that you earn. Okay, and then your spouse as well. Also, all the expense for a month. Also the expense on a monthly basis. This simple, I would say this simple habit bring clarity, bring control, bring momentum toward the down payment goal. Okay, start working on your budget. And like I said, I will tell you how to get to the template. This is a template that I prepare to get the monthly budgets easier for you. So I'll tell you how to come up with that, how to download that in a minute. Okay. All right. Next is choosing the right home. If the previous step talking about getting the down payment, this step, I would say this step is the most fun, happy step in the entire 7 steps, because this is the time that you can come to see the house. You can determine whether it is a good house or the bad house, whether it's a good looking house or a bad looking house. This is also the time that you can actually arguing to each other. I'm looking at like the spouses that discuss, like they argue, like I'm laughing because every single one of the couple have the same problem. But I don't believe it is a problem. When I say it's a problem, it's just very common. And I encourage discussion as well. Because if you are not choosing the right house for your family together, then it would be a much bigger problem. And I would rather us to discuss, to talk out, to make sure that both spouses are happy about the decision than making the quick and fast decision and get mad at me later, right? Talking about mad, I just want to say one story that when I bought our first house, right? Very naive in the US. When I come to the US, like number one, I already told you that I think I thought to be able to buy a house, I had to come in with 100% cash, right? But it's not the case. Right? So it's very naive. So I go to I talked to the real estate agent who is also my mentor back then, right? He gives me a better understanding of how the house buying process looks like, and then we went out see the house. Okay. At first, the number one criteria that I have is because back then I just got accepted to a medical device company in North Phoenix, so I wanted to move myself closer to work from Chandler. The criteria is about 30 minutes with traffic to North Phoenix, right? That is very important. Of course, the second one is 250, and I'm not even sure, not even remember why 250 come in mind. I don't think that we have a discussion. That's the reason why I create this framework as well. That's why I wanted you to create the framework first, to follow the framework first to define the important criteria. Okay. By the way, back to my story. So we went to the brand new community in Gilbert. It's called the Morrison Ranch, if I remember correctly. Beautiful community. As I drive into the community, there's a green grass on both sides. There's a lot of trees. It's not tall yet because it's still early development. It's small, but they're potentially gonna grow, and then I can see that the tree line is gonna be providing a lot of shade for whoever live in that community. We went to the model home, fell in love with that community right away. So I talked to the sales agent that, hey, we're gonna sign the agreement. When we do that? Well, unfortunately, I'll tell you in a minute. She is not available at that time. It was like 5:30 already in the afternoon, and she closed at 6, and we wouldn't have enough time to write a contract. Okay, that's fine. Let's make an appointment for the next morning to come back. And she is like, okay, cool. We open at 10. Can you come at 10? Great. Yes, I can come at 10. Great. Except I forget one thing. The community is actually 45 minutes away to my company in North Phoenix. And by the way, that without traffic. So with traffic, I will be stuck in that for 1 hour each way. That's a horrible decision if I go to buy that house. Okay. Now, lucky for me that at night I told my parents about, hey, we are going to sign a contract to purchase a house tomorrow. Okay, great, good for you. Now, can you take us to the community? Everything closed. You cannot see anything. That's fine, because I just want to see the location. So like, okay, I took my mom, my dad, and then my wife as well, my spouse as well, to go to the community, still the trees, still the green grass, and they like, okay, they sit in the car, like, oh wow, this is going to be a great community for you to live together here. And then we stopped the car at the motorhome. Well, we cannot go inside the motorhome because it was closed. We come out, a horrible smell. A horrible smell. Later, we find out that the community is actually very close to a dairy farm that, of course, producing the bad smell. The dairy farm. So they raise animals, right? Cows, chicken, pig, right? And then all of the waste creating horrible smell in that area. If you remember, that was the East Mark area nowadays. Okay, so it's producing the very bad smell. My wife was like, I cannot live in this house for the next 1 day, 1 hour, right, with the smell like this. So we decided to cancel our meeting in the next morning. From that incident, we know right away that we shouldn't do everything by our own. It's better to leverage the information. But more than that is to choose the right house, to follow the criteria, choose the right house, to be able to not getting distracted by emotion, right? Because we feel so emotional to the house and forget all about other criteria. Okay, so finding, my point is that your criteria and the routine of implement follow the criteria at the compass guiding you home. The criteria and the routine, okay, that, remember, is both. You have to have a clear criteria, but you also have to follow the criteria, implement the routine, so that you can go to your home. And here's the routine, and we call it the dream home funnel. Okay, this is a funnel because it's getting smaller and smaller and getting you to the finish line, right? Number one, like I said, you do have to have a criteria, a very clear criteria. Determine what is the must have and what is the nice to have in your opinion. I do also have the checklist, like a list of things that I suggest you to look at, whether it's a must have, whether it's a nice to have. You can clearly define everything in this list and keep this as a what's the word, as a contract to yourself, right? And if anything that fell out of these criteria, don't follow it. Or maybe have a discussion with your spouse to see whether you can potentially change it or not. If not, if both of you don't agree, don't change it and keep follow this until you get to the right house, right? So I'll let you know how to download the copy as well in a minute. But here you go. The continue with the dream home funnel. Clarify the criteria. Now that is a criteria. What is the routine? Make sure that you look at houses on the daily basis. Now, when I say look at houses on a daily basis, I don't want to create the pressure that you have to go physically look at the house. With technology nowadays, you can do plenty of things online. Go to Zillow, go to Realtor.com, go to MOS, the one that your agent gonna set up and send to your email. Look at the house online. Even if it is not the one you like, the more you look at the house, the more you understand the product that you're buying. And therefore, you will be able to determine whether it is a good house for you and your family or not. Okay? The next step is commit to walk through the house on the weekly basis. That one including touring the home in person. at the minimum. And keep in mind, these are the recommendations for the minimum. If you can see the house every single day, right, then you do it. I'm sure that your agent will be more than happy to take you on a tour. So don't worry about bothering them. That's their job to find you a house. That's their job to open the door for you and make sure that they give you the honest feedback about the house as well. Okay. But at the minimum, walk the house weekly. Now, some of you may ask, what if I don't see any houses that I like? Well, then check out the neighborhood, potential neighborhood, and determine, rule out, or continue searching in this neighborhood. Because some neighborhood, you're going to know for sure you cannot stay in it. Or some neighborhood, you're like, I have to have a lake in the neighborhood. So that is, if you don't see any houses that you want to see in person, make sure that you still check out the neighborhood, still check out the area around the neighborhood that you like, okay? And commit to walk through the property on a weekly basis. Next is commit to yourself to identify a house that worth to make an offer on the monthly basis, at least one. At least one. You can make as many offers as you like during the month, but at least one, okay? Because if there's nothing within a month that you want to make an offer, there may be something not right. A month passed by, 2 months passed, 3 months passed, and then there's still nothing that you want to make an offer. This is a good time for you to meet up with your agent, with your loan officer, to have a calibration meeting on a quarterly basis. In this meeting, we definitely look at the houses that you already look at, see whether they already sold, at what price range, the reason why you don't like it, the reason why you like it, and then you still haven't made an offer, and then adjust the criteria, adjust your budget accordingly. If you still don't see any houses that you like, there may be something wrong, maybe something that the both sides do not understand each other and causing the problem in identifying the house that you want to make an offer and move forward with. All right. So this is the framework, the 5 steps only to be, this is the criteria and the routine that you should follow to get exactly the house that you like. Okay. So the homework for today, for this step, is to define your must-have and nice-to-haves. And again, because analysis paralysis, some of you may think, what should I do? How do I know all the criteria that I want? How do I know that, all the criteria that I must have? But you don't know. You will not know. Okay. So just follow the template that I am going to provide to you in a minute, and then start with that first. As you go see houses on a weekly basis, you can continue having a meeting, having a conversation to adjust, to add, to remove the criteria that you feel needed, right? So this is the action, this is to do. If you are already in step 3, this is actually the things that you have to do to be able to move forward with the next step. So all of the resource that I'm talking about, including the buyer guide, including the 7-step home buying process, including the nice to have and must have worksheet, including the budget, the monthly budget worksheet, all of them can be downloaded here, including the presentation slide here as well, can be downloaded here. Okay, so you can check out. If you scan the QR code, you will be able to get all the resources for you. Okay. So here, what we learned today. Oops, sorry. Here's what we already learned today. Today we learned about the 7 steps to purchase the home. Okay. By the way, I don't know if you recognize, but this is execute. Make sure that you execute 1 step at a time. And today we specifically cover in depth of the expense, saving for the down payment, as well as choosing the perfect home. Okay. If anything that you still confused about, if anything that you still unsure about, we can always talk together. more than happy to schedule a call, a meeting with you. This one will be a completely free one-on-one meeting as well. Specifically, we're gonna talk specifically for your situation to determine the right down amount, right down payment amount, to determine the right loan program for you, to determine the right house criteria for you, and then the process of making an offer, right? If you are interested in that meeting, feel free to scan this QR code right here, and it take you to the registration page. Put in the time that you are available, and I will reach out to you to confirm the appointment. Okay. I just want to end the meeting with a story of one of the most active immigrant first-time home buyer. Okay, his name is Vic. Okay, and he bought the house with me about a month ago. Now, one thing is that he didn't wait like a lot of people. He didn't settle for renting. As the time that he came to the US, he contacted me right away, find out about me on Facebook. And he contacted me right away to ask about, buying a home process. But unfortunately, all the loan officer that I talk with say, including me as well, I say, okay, you have to have some working history in the US before you can apply for mortgage. That is the most challenge problem that he has. But he didn't never give up. But because a lot of people, I talk to many people as well. And when I talk about that, a lot of people are gonna give up because they feel like 2 years is too long. I cannot wait. I want a house now. And if I cannot, I don't need a house anymore. Then they forget about a house and never talk about qualify for mortgage. 4 years in the US, they still say, hey, I cannot qualify for mortgage because, I don't qualify, right? Even though they already qualify, okay? But this guy, he never give up. He keep asking, finding more information, keep talking to me. And finally, we were able to identify a loan officer that were able to help him with 6 months less before the 24-month mark, right? We purchased a home at the 18-month mark, and he got into the house. Okay, after 18 months. Isn't it amazing? Right? After 18 months in the US, he has the down payment. He has the right loan program. He chooses the good house. And here's the also thing, talking about choosing house. He's not just relying on me sending the information. He actually go see the house, follow the routine, right? Go see the neighborhood to confirm whether they like the neighborhood or not. Because that is something, some neighborhood is like, if I like it, maybe he's not like it. If I don't like it, maybe he likes it, right? So it's really difficult if we don't work together. And his is great because he's actually follow exactly the same. Like check out houses every day. Go see houses at least once a week and making an offer, making constant offer. He's not afraid of asking the question, asking the right question as well. And I'm not that those are great because obviously I know exactly the thing that he needs and provide it to him. And finally, he closed the house 18 months after the contract, after going to the US. So my point is this. I know there's a lot of information on the internet, but build your future based on the current information. Do not ruin the present based on the future information. You don't know anything about the future, whether the interest rate gonna go down or whether it's go up, the market gonna crash, the market gonna go up. No one knows for sure. So do not ruin your present based on the future, something that may or may not ever happen. And most importantly, take action. Execute your plan one step at a time to be able to identify the house, buy your first house in the US. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today's webinar.